5'7", the shortest player in OTE history, light the arena on fire.
You know, he's going to get rebounds, he was going to get assists, he was going to record blocks, he was going to record steals, and he was going to impact winning in a positive way.
If you look at his overall production, of whether it's statistically, analytically, and eye test wise, we just really haven't seen a player like this.
He's just awesome. He has been all along, and I'm not ready to submit a ballot yet. Don't hold me to it yet.
It just seemed like yesterday to when this specific individual started to turn heads and became one of the most inspiring and entertaining point guards in all of high school basketball. From his insane athleticism to his gritty tight competitiveness. And while standing at 5'9" and 140 pounds, he's always been the type of player to put it all on the floor. Despite always being the shortest player on the court, this is the Romelo Hill story. Romelo Hill was born on January 8, 2008 in Atlanta, Georgia, to Grammy-winning singer, songwriter, and actress Monica Denise Arnold and father Rodney Ramon Hill Jr., a rapper and record executive who's better known by stage name Rocco. He was even credited for discovering fellow Atlanta-based rapper Future. Now Romelo would really take after his father, who was a pretty stellar basketball player back in his day. But for Romelo, it was clear at a very young age that he had a certain type of fearlessness and relentlessness when it came to practically anything.
He was birthed acting like Spider-Man. I remember one time in Vegas, I was about to perform, and he climbed up the side of this railing, and I caught his ankle just before. I'm like, bro, you can't fly.
Yeah.
You know? So when he gets the bloody lip, this boy broke his nose, came back in, and still went and played after the emergency room. Like, he just doesn't stop. I think that's something that as a mom, you have to promote versus prevent. You know, I like for him to be compassionate. I like for him to treat people the way he would want to be treated. All of those things, those fundamentals are there. But when you're on the court, it's easy.
Now, as he got older, that killer mentality that he carried onto the court really allowed him to stand out by the time he hit middle school, despite being pretty undersized. And the way he played and carried himself on a gamely basis, you would have thought he was one of the biggest players on the court. By 13 years old, he stood at 5 foot, and despite a lot of times being the smallest player on the court, he never shied away from being extremely feisty on defense, as well as finishing through all type of contact. But he also had a special knack to get other players involved. Now, prior to getting any real recognition from basketball, he would attend the Heritage School in Noonan, Georgia. There, he simply played the game the right way and truly on a gamely basis took full advantage of his opportunities, making his presence felt on both sides of the basketball. And so after doing his thing there, Romelo would receive an offer to take his talents to Atlanta, Georgia and attend Overtime Elite. There, at just the age of 15 years old, the work he was putting in behind closed doors would over time start to pay off for him. He was the shortest player in the whole entire league, while standing at 5'7", but still managed to continue to turn heads while playing for RWE with his insane athleticism and heart over height type mentality. He would even experience going on to get his first in-game dunk. But just as he was inspiring many other undersized guards and kids all across the entire country, many questioned his size and thought that he would honestly peak at Overtime Elite.
People who criticize me a lot, but I always I don't let it faze me. I say I'm pretty hard on myself. So if I read the comments on social medias, I kind of feel down a little bit.
In order for you to have understood that the way you did, you had to have had that experience before.
I have that experience every day.
Every day.
People just be loud and wrong. And I just want to correct them, but then it's not my place to correct them.
Truthfully, that would all motivate him to go even harder, coming into his second year at Overtime Elite while standing at 5'9" and 140 pounds. He would continue to turn heads and became one of the most entertaining high school basketball players in the entire country. Now, following the season, as he's been playing for RWE's AAU team, as well as 444 Athletics, he's been looking pretty comfortable from all three levels, and has showed clear signs that he has the potential to be a true two-way floor general at the next level. And because of that, he would receive his very first own Division I offers from Jacksonville State, the University of Louisiana, as well as Hofstra University, and he's now considered a 4-star recruit according to ESPN. From going under the radar to ultimately making a name for himself while being vastly undersized, Romelo Hill is another example of someone who decided to take matters in his own hand and practically outwork everybody. And because of that, not only has he turned into an internet basketball sensation, he's going to have the opportunity to do what most his size never get the chance to accomplish, and that's playing college basketball at the Division I level.
Now, I know you're obviously a shorter player amongst a lot of giants. How, I guess, jumping is one of your superpowers, but just happen to be kind of gritty, happen to be tough, you know what I'm saying, happen to hold your own and stand your ground. I mean, that says a lot about the type of heart you got, but you know what I'm saying, where you think all that come from?
It's really just a mindset. I kind of train myself like you know you're the smallest out there, so you just gotta do you gotta do what all small guards do. Like, you gotta have the heart, you gotta have that great mentality, you gotta have that great energy every time you step on the floor. So kind of just train myself. I know I'm small, I know everybody else tall, they trying to block the shot and all that, so I just train myself.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Romelo Hill story.